Yeah.
But the defense, so let's move on to the defense. The defense got destroyed. Like we talked about that. They got destroyed yesterday. Do you think it was too many injuries and guys just playing hurt, or was it like D'Amico's play calling? Because I think it was a little bit of both. But what do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think ultimately it's missing important pieces. I think honestly, I think losing Emmanuel Mosley is a gigantic blow to this defense.
Huge.
I think Emmanuel Mosley is one of the most underrated corners in this league. I think that he was having his best season to date. He is a lockdown corner. It allowed both he and Ward. It allowed them to really play a lot of man, which really frees up guys like Talanoa Hufanga to kind of make plays all over the field. And without Mosley and with a hobbled Ward, I don't know that there was enough out there to stop the best offense in the NFL. The Chiefs came in with the highest. They were averaging 29 points a game, which was number one in the NFL. So they were always going to have a struggle to stop this team. And while I didn't expect them to give up 44, I did expect them to give up a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it was going to have to fall back on the offense to try and keep pace. And they weren't able to do that. And so, I think in the modern NFL and today's NFL, you're always going to have games in a season where you're going to got on the defensive side of the ball. It's just the way that the NFL is designed now. It's designed to be a passing league. It's designed to be a league that favors offense. And so you have to expect games like this, especially against teams like the Chiefs or the Bills or whatever the case may be. And that's when it comes, like I said, it comes to the offensive side to be able to catch up. But, ultimately I think, and I think Nick Bosa, those two back-to-back neutral zone infractions early in the game, I think they got him out of rhythm. They got him in it. I think he got in his head a little bit. And I think ultimately, it kind of took him out of the game. And, he did have the one sack, which was awesome. He absolutely abused Andrew Wiley, their right tackle, and got that sack. And honestly, that felt like a little bit of a momentum shift. You're like, all right, like, okay. Because it was 28-23, right? You're like, okay, we're still in this. It's 28-23. We're down 5. All of a sudden, Nick Bosa gets this massive 10-yard sack on Mahomes at 2nd and 20, and then they hit the bomb to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And Mooney Ward got exposed on that, and that's where it's that play that made me think, hey, you know what? He's probably not fully healthy, and so. It just, like I said, there are just going to be games where that happens, and this just happened to be the game. But, I think that D'Amico will learn from this. I think if by miracle we get to face the Chiefs again, that means that it is a Super Bowl appearance. I think he'd have a different game plan, but I'm not worried about the defense. I'm not worried about D'Amico Ryans. I just think this was a game that, they just got, and that's going to happen. And it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back against the Rams.
Yeah. I do not buy into, I heard a whole bunch of things on Twitter today about how overrated D'Amico Ryans is. And I was after one game, really, because I don't know if you could point to another game where he just got like like you were saying. It's crazy, the overreaction to one game of having a bad game. And he's a young coordinator also. Like people just have to, I feel like people just need to back off and and let him take his you're going to take your lumps from time to time, and it's do you learn from it, and do you get better the next time? That's what I'll be looking to see from him. I think D'Amico is an outstanding coach, and I think that we're going to see something. He's going to scheme. I think he's going to do what he did last year when we had a bunch of injuries in the secondary, and he's going to scheme around it. There was no reason why we were able to keep Devontae Adams from blowing us up in a in the game in the playoffs last season. There was no reason
with Ambry Thomas and Josh Norman as our starting
yeah,
corners.
there was no way that that we should have kept the Cowboys to what we did, like with those corners. And it's just, yeah, it baffles me, like how you could call the man overrated. The guy has a whole bunch of injuries, like from leaders on this team, that he doesn't have on the field. And it's a pretty young group. So like, I mean, other than Bosa, but and Warner, of course, but yeah, like even Greenlaw went down in this game. Mooney was obviously he kept grabbing at his groin, like a pause, but but it was still, it still felt like they were in it up until the fourth quarter. Like, and I think that they were doing just enough until that point, and then the floodgates just opened, and it was just too much. But yeah, I think D'Amico is an exceptional coach, and I hope that people are willing to give him a little bit of leeway on this one, because the man has shown us nothing but good up until this point.